Hello, good day everyone. So today we'll be doing January 2022 number 2 questions, right? Which is basically factorization, solving quadratics, adding of algebra, all those lovely stuff, right? So the first question is factorize completely 3n squared plus 15np. So when they say factorize completely, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, does each of the items in this have anything in common? Meaning, does 3n squared and 15np have anything in common? Let's use the numbers. Is there a number that could go into 3 and 15 at the same time? Yes. 3 could go into 3 and 3 could go into 15. So we know they have, what do they have in common with 3 and 15? They have 3. So 3 is a factor of 3 and 15, right? What about, then we look at the letters, n squared and np. What letter could go into n squared and np at the same time? We know n could go into n squared and n could go into np. So what you're going to do right now, right, is we're going to have an open and close bracket, right? And then you're going to ask yourself, 3n multiplied by what would give you that first term, 3n squared? And then 3n multiplied by what would give you the second term, which is positive 15np. So 3n by n will give you 3n squared, and 3n by, so let's look at deal with the numbers first. 3 by what would give you 15? 3 by 5, right? And then n by what would give you np? N by p. So we know that your first term is n plus 5p. And this would be a factorization. 3n open bracket n plus 5p close bracket. That is the answer for your first question. Your second question says, the diagram below shows a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral just means a four-sided figure, right? With lengths of sides written in terms of x. So they're telling you, we'll just call this the first side, we'll call this the second side, we'll call this the third side, and we'll call this the fourth side. Right? Yeah. Write an expression in terms of x for the perimeter of the quadrilateral. So perimeter of the quadrilateral just basically means to find perimeter of the quadrilateral just means to find the distance around. Perimeter means you're adding everything around, right? So we have to add side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus side 4. Yeah? So let's just erase that. So side 1 is, well, put whatever in the brackets. That's 15 minus 2x plus side 2, which is 3x minus 7, plus side 3, which is 2x plus 5, plus side 4, which is 2x minus 1. Then we'll remove the bracket, so it's 15 minus 2x plus 3x minus 7 plus 2x plus 5 plus 2x minus 1. What you will do is group like terms. So we're going to group the numbers and the letters. So you're going to group the numbers, 15, and when you use the number, you cross it out. So when you use 15, you cross out 15. Then you look down the line, you see there's negative 7. So you cross it out, and then you put negative 7. Then the next one is plus 5, so you cross out plus 5, and you put plus 5. Then you cross out negative 1, and you put minus 1. Negative or minus, right? Then we have used all the numbers that are by itself. Now we're going to use the x's. We have minus 2x, right? Then plus 3x, plus 3x minus 2x, not minus, sorry, plus 2x again, then plus 2x again. We have 2x here and the next 2x here. So we know we have used each term that is in this expression above, right? So you can use a calculator if you don't know. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 minus 7 is 13. 13 minus 1 is 12. If you're not 100% sure, we'll do it on our calculator. 15 subtract 7 plus 5 minus 1 is 12. So we know that we have, with all the numbers by itself, that is 12. And then, although your calculator cannot put x, you can use the coefficients to find the answer. So you'll put negative 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Right? And that would be 5. So you know it would be 5 plus 5x. Right? And that would be it for the expression. So your expression in terms of x for the parameter of the quadrilateral would be 12 plus 5x. Alright, so let's go to the second part. The perimeter of the quadrilateral is 32 centimeters. Find the length of the longest side of the quadrilateral. First off, they're telling you that this expression that you have on top here is equal to, so they're telling you 12 plus 5x is equal to 32. So from this here, what can you solve? You can solve the unknown, which is x. So we're going to make x a subject. We're going to put 12 plus 12 of course, so it's going to be 5x is equals to 32 minus 12, which is 5x is equals to 20. Yes, 20. So x, if you carry across, multiply by 5 will be 20 divided by 5. So x is equals to 4. Now that we have found the unknown, we can find the longest side. I was saying, although they said find the length of the longest side of the quadrilateral, do not use the image that they gave you, because usually the image that they gave you are not drawn to scale. So what would be easiest is to find each side, the length of each side, which is pretty easy. Wherever you see x, you're going to put 4, because we got x is equals to 4. So you can do it right here, where we have 15 minus 2 by x, which is to multiply by 4, is 8. So 15 minus 8 is equal to 15 minus 8 is equals to 7. So we know side 1 is 7. Then this one is 3 by 4 is 12 minus 7. So 12 minus 7 is 5. So this side is 5 centimeters, I should say centimeters. This one is side 3 is 2 by 4 is 8. 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. So we know side 3 is 13 centimeters. And then this one is 2 by 4 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 5. What am I saying? 8 minus 1 is 7, not 5. 7 centimeters. So as we can see, guys, if you were to look at it and say, well, you know what, I think that side 2 was actually the longest side, and you just worked it out and you got 5 centimeters, and you would have go along your merry way, you would have gotten it wrong, right? So don't ever use the image, because it is never drawn to scale, right? Unless they said the image is drawn to scale, right? So the answer, and they said what is the longest side? We have side 1 is 7, side 2 is 5, side 3 is 13, and side 4 is 7. We know obviously the longest side would be side 3, which is 13 centimeters. Alright, so let's go down to the next part. They said C, determine all the integer values of x which satisfy the inequality. When they say integers, we know they're talking about negative numbers, positive numbers, and 0. Not fractions, nothing along those lines. We want only negative, positive, and 0 numbers. Right? That is what x is equal to. First off, we want to get rid of this divide by 3. So to get rid of divide by 3, we will multiply this entire thing. So I'm going to start here, minus 1, 2 minus 4x, 5. You're going to multiply this by this entire thing, by 3. So 3 by negative 1 is negative 3. 2 minus 4x all over 3 multiplied by 3. The 3's will cancel out, so it will be 2 minus 4x, right? And then we have 5 by 3 is 15. Right? Now, this is going to separate it into two parts. We're going to put minus 3, the first inequality sign. You're going to focus on this part, 2 minus 4x. And then we have 2 minus 4x is less than 15. So what we're going to do is make x the subject for both of them, right? And find the range. So let me do the first one. They have minus 3, this 2 minus 4x. So first off, we want positive x. So we're going to carry across plus 2, and we're going to turn to minus 3 plus, no, not plus. The plus 2 is going to turn to negative 2 is minus 4x. So that's minus 5 minus 4x. We want positive x, we're going to multiply the entire thing by negative 1. So it's going to be negative 1 by negative 5 is 5. If you multiply your inequality by a negative 1, it flips. So instead of less than, it's going to be more than, right? And minus 4x multiplied by minus 1 would give you 4x. Right, positive 4x. You carry across, divide, multiply by 4, so you're going to get 5 divided by 4, this x. So that is 5 is 1 1/4, right? Is this. But please remember, we are reading, always read from the letter. So because we're going backwards, this is now going to be, this is going to change to x is not less than, but not more than, sorry, but less than 1 1/4. I'm putting more than. It is less than 1 1/4. Right? And then we're going to do the second part. That was this part we did. Right? So this is reduced to x is less than 1 1/4. Now we're going to do this part of the equation, this inequality. So that inequality says 2 minus 4x is less than 15, right? Same thing, we want x to be the subject, positive x. We're going to carry across 2. That would be minus 4x is less than 15 minus 2. So that's minus 4x is less than 15 minus 2 is 13, right? We're going to multiply. We want positive x, so we're going to multiply this entire thing by negative 1. Let me just go to the side so you guys can see it multiply by negative 1. So negative 1 by minus 4x will give you positive 4x. If you multiply, as I said, if you multiply inequality by a negative sign, it will be the opposite. So instead of less than, it's going to be more than, right? Remember, minus 13 by negative 1 will be minus 13. Then you carry across, multiply by 4, it's going to turn to divide by 4. So x is less than, sorry, more than minus 13 divided by 4. So x is more than negative 13 divided by 4. 4 could go into 13. 4 3s are 12. Remainder 1 over 4. So that is your answer right there. All right, so for your second part, we get x is more than minus 3 1/4. So if we know anything, as I said before about integers, we want negative numbers, positive numbers, and 0. We don't want any fractions. So first off, they said that x is more than negative 3 1/4. So that means x so far would be negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and it could go on. But then we have where they said x is less than 1 1/4. So that will stop right here, right? Because 1 is less than 1 1/4. So my values for x will be negative 3. X is equal to negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. Right, and that would be your answer for this. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Right, so x is equal to negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. Right, and that is your answer for this. And that is the end of number 2 questions. That is a total of 9 marks. Right, for the year January 2022.